All right, let's turn things over to meteorologist Jackie Lair, who's been following this story all morning long. I mean, talking about the hurricane and seeing kind of the pictures, the live images.
Yes.
It is really scary.
Yeah, very scary, especially in Perry. We've been talking about this area. I was eyeing that up earlier this morning as I was trying to see where Idalia was going to make landfall. And Perry looked to be the bullseye, even though Perry is just a little bit farther inland. But they're really seeing the impact at this moment in time as that eye continues to move its way farther inland. Now, here's a view of the radar of the last couple of hours. We are still noticing the rest of those rain bands continue to wrap around. So even southernmost parts of Florida are still dealing with some of the severe weather associated with Idalia, although the eye of the storm really packing a punch right around the Big Bend region. This is where we're seeing the most of the storm surge right now and the highest of the winds. But like I mentioned, still going to be tracking that severe weather even down towards Tampa, as well as far south as Port Charlotte over the next couple of hours as those rain bands continue to track in. And that severe weather that I'm talking about, tornadoes are still possible as that storm continues to move its way north. Now let's talk about zoomed on in of the eye. The eye made landfall right around Keaton Beach. Now that eye continues to wrap around and gets at least right around Perry at this point. Madison on the outer fringes of that eye wall as well, even over towards Tallahassee. Tallahassee pretty close too, so those winds are starting to pick up there. But over towards Cedar Key, as that eye continues to shift its way a little bit farther inland off towards the northwest, those winds are starting to come back down, at least in Cedar Key. Over towards Horseshoe Beach, right near 50-mile-per-hour winds. Now notice just offshore, 85-mile-per-hour winds. This is just the south of Perry. Perry's still reporting at least a 50-mile-per-hour wind. And we're seeing right around 70-mile-per-hour winds right along that immediate coastline there, just south of Perry. But it looks like the highest of those winds are still just offshore at this point, according to the radar estimated wind. Hurricane Idalia right now, Category 3, a high-end one. Typically right around 130 is where you get a Category 4. But again, we're at 120 miles per hour, still packing a punch as it moves its way north across southern Georgia, but still retaining hurricane status as it moves across land in southern Georgia and over towards southernmost parts of South Carolina, riding right along the coast there, but then weakening to a tropical storm before it moves its way off to the east, out to sea, and away from North Carolina as we get towards tomorrow, or I should say Thursday afternoon. Idalia Futurecast showing us that rain continuing to slide its way northbound. So as it weakens to a tropical storm, the outer fringes of that storm get a little bit farther from the center. So we could get clipped by some of the outer rain bands into southernmost parts of Maryland. So something to keep in mind is that we could be clipped by a few of those raindrops. But again, we're not. The rest of the region are not going to be impacted by Idalia whatsoever. We are going to be seeing those winds mainly out of the north as we get towards the next couple of days, and also lower humidity through the end of the week. Radar out there this morning, we tracked the clouds, and we are also tracking a few of those showers sliding on through. Those sprinkles are starting to wind down. We're seeing those temperatures in the upper 60s to low to mid 70s across our area. Currently 77 in D.C. or 71 off towards Hagerstown. Cold front clears the region. We'll see a gradual clearing of those skies, so more sunshine developing later on today. Finally, we'll take that sunshine because over the course of the last couple of days, those clouds have been quite thick. But as we look ahead towards later on this evening, still holding into the 80s by about 5 p.m. Then overnight tonight, we'll see those winds shift to mainly out of the north. Lower humidity moves in, and we'll see those overnight lows falling back in the upper 50s to low to mid 60s. Here's where we could be dealing with the outer fringes of Idalia into early tomorrow morning before eventually that slides out as that system moves its way well off the coast. But we'll see those temperatures tomorrow, upper 70s to right about 80. And then for the end of the week, Friday, we're looking at those highs right around 80, low 80s on Saturday, a little bit warmer on Sunday, upper 80s. Those low 90s returning just in time for Labor Day, which is typically the unofficial end to the summer season. Shanika's back with the on-point look at those roadways. How's traffic right now?
All right.